What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I want to talk to you guys about Keith Thurman. You know, the guy that's MIA, missing in action. Thurman. You know, I want to talk to you guys about his demeanor. You know how you remember how like he was once a dedicated, focused, hungry fighter. You know what I mean? And he gets 2 belts. And he just starts, he's not hungry anymore. You know what I mean? And it shows with people. You know, like Earl Spence. Now, I get because I understand Keith Thurman's frustration, though, because a lot of this is frustration and it's due to being spiteful. You know what I mean? Like, if you wanted to fight the cash cow, which was Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd Mayweather's only response was, hey, why don't you fight this other guy that's up and coming? You know, I'd be like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Why don't you fight me? How about that? How about that? You know what I mean? Catch me outside. How about that? You know, like, why would you tell me to fight someone else when I'm talking about fighting you? You know what I mean? And you turn around and fight a guy with 4 losses. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you know, that's unacceptable. You know, so I get what Keith Thurman did. You know, he was like, okay, he intentionally rubbed Errol Spence out. You know what I mean? He froze him out, you know, because it was like, I've did what I've done to get where I'm at, and where I was at, nobody respected me. You know, they seen I was hungry, young, and strong. You know what I'm saying? If Floyd was so worried about someone being young and strong, he fought Canelo. Canelo was that young up-and-coming fighter when he was 22 years of age. Remember that? You know, why couldn't he fight someone a little bit more mobile? Someone like Keith Thurman, a little bit more, you know, unorthodox, you know, that thinks more in there. And he didn't want none. You know, like, don't get me wrong, guys. Here's the thing about Floyd with me. I got a love-hate relationship with Floyd Mayweather because I know how he was and what type of fighter he used to be versus what he turned into. You know what I'm saying? It's like he only banks off the fights that he's fought before. All the other fights, the last 6 fights he fought was garbage, really. They were all picked, hand-picked. You got the 2 meaningless fights with Maidana. They were meaningless. He didn't have to fight him. There was no reason to fight him at all. He fought Victor Ortiz. That was his last knockout, if you want to count McGregor, right? And McGregor's another one. You know, you fought Pacquiao after Pacquiao got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez in December 8th of 2012. Then you claim Pacquiao wasn't the same fighter when he came back, you know, a year later, even 14. And you fight him in 2015. Who else did he fight during that time? You fought Canelo. And that was the only fight, really, that he gets credit for me for fighting. Because, you know, I don't bring up the 152 catch weight a lot. I only bring that up when people want to talk shit about Manny Pacquiao. Then that's when I reference that, because Floyd made Canelo come down to 152 to fight him. You know, but I mean, it's 2 pounds. You know what I'm saying? But Floyd would be quick, and every Floyd fan will be quick to talk about Mayweather fighting at catch weights like the Cotto fight. You know what I mean? But what he did, he tried to make his Cotto win better when he fought him, because he fought him at the natural weight. Well, if that's the case, why don't you fight Canelo, you know, at 154? And knowing he was starching himself to make 154. People didn't know that, right? Until the very next fight after he fought Floyd, right? He couldn't even make 154 anymore. He had to go to 155. The point I'm trying to make is Canelo was still that young up-and-coming fighter. You fought him at a catch weight, and that's your only credited win for the day. You fought Manny Pacquiao, which you already claimed that wasn't even a good fighter anymore. So when you're going back to Keith's looking at all this like, dude, why don't you give me a shot? You're giving MMA fighters a shot. People from the UFC, you're giving them all these $1 million paydays. Hell, we as boxers, you love us. You were one of us. You know what I'm saying? You owe it to us to pass the torch, or, you know, give us the opportunity. He never done that. That's why it's no respect for Floyd Money Mayweather. Pretty Boy Floyd gets all the respect because he was in a different situation. That fighter that was with Bob Arum was a totally different fighter than he turned into. You know what I'm saying? That's how I reference those two guys in different time zones and front time frames. Okay, so Keith Thurman, like I explained yesterday, Keith Thurman was the guy that he was spiteful, you know what I mean? He was scorned, he was jaded because he learned the politics of the boxing game, and he knew everything that seemed what it is isn't really what it is. Floyd's not really TBE. I mean, he could call himself that. He could be his slogan, like about billions. Don't mean Broner's gonna make billions, right? That just means that's what he calls himself. So cool, he could call himself the TBE. But I mean, again, fighting the top guys like Keith Thurman knew, well, if Floyd ain't going to do it, why the hell should I do it? Why should I fight Errol Spence? No, I'm going to fight the guys that I feel that will quench my thirst. And you know what? After he beat Sean Porter, after he beat Danny Garcia and got the WBC, so he had the WBA, which he still has, the WBC he got from Danny Garcia back in March of last year. He was like, okay, I don't need to really do anything else because there's nothing else for me. Crawford wasn't even there yet. So Crawford was reigning at a different weight class at 140. Errol Spence I don't even think he even had the belt yet. Okay. So, and then really, why would it be necessary to fight Errol Spence? Because I think Errol Spence is like a bad memory of Mayweather, I feel. You know what I mean? Oh, this guy again, the one Mayweather ducked and insisted that I fight. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't want to fight me because he was too chicken shit at the age or whatever. He didn't want that smoke or whatever. So yeah, I see that. I see exactly that. I see what's going on with that. That's why Keith Thurman is where he's at. Where does he go with the rest of his career? We don't know, but whatever he's doing, he's taking it slow. He's taking it real slow, like molasses in the wintertime slow. But that's a little explanation that gives you kind of pros and cons on why Keith Thurman was. But we can tell you one thing. Keith Thurman is not as hungry as he was, and he learned as he went through his career that he's not going to take the top fights. He's not going to do that. He's not that type of dude, so he's not really a warrior. He's a guy that learned a business aspect of boxing, and he's going to run with it. You won't see, I don't even know if you'll ever see a Spence Thurman fight. You know what I mean? Because Keith Thurman, and if he does, it's going to be for a huge amount of money, $5, $6, $7 million, because he knows there's a good chance he might lose that fight. He could win. You know what I mean? I haven't done a fight study on it, but I mean, he could win just, thinking off the top of my head or whatever. But, because even Kell Brook gave Spence a hard time, and that was Spence's toughest fight, which was Kell Brook. And that wasn't even an undefeated Kell Brook. That was a Kell Brook with a busted eye socket from Golovkin when he went up there challenging that monster up there, right? So, but I think Keith Thurman is going to take it easy, but don't expect much from Keith Thurman. But that's just a little explanation to explain to you guys why Keith Thurman lost his desire to want to fight these top guys, because in his mind, he's already done it. So it's like, okay, if I've already done it, why should I fight every other or every top fighter there now? That's Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? There's no one to really pass the torch to. He once upon a time wanted to fight Pacquiao. He might do that, but there's no guarantee he will. You see what I'm saying? Because if Pac-Man takes out Broner in ease, people might want to let off Pacquiao. Like, oh, wait a minute, this guy is a legend. And then that's really going to be one of my next videos, the comparison of welterweights, past and present. So stay tuned for that, guys. But anyway, that's just me clearing it up. You guys tell me what you think about Keith One Time Thurman. Please subscribe, and you guys been counterpunched. Peace.